Good morning, everyone, and good morning, sir. This is the Team Privatissimum video of me, Mr. John Andrei Waga, Mr. Bernard Abragan, and Mr. NadzFar Totong. And in our own respective papers, we encountered a common question. Is there, in fact, a line of reasoning that brings about absolute certainty? And our answer to that question is that yes, there is, and that is deduction. The first supporting point that we can offer to the thesis comes from my own paper titled Averroes' Commentary on Aristotle's Topics. And the thesis is that deduction, when not using suppositional knowledge, brings about absolute certainty.
For the thesis statement of my research paper, despite the uncertainty of the conclusion, inductive logic is essential to the scientific method. It enables the derivation of general principle from a specific observation, forming the foundation of empirical inquiry and theoretical development.
Induction is reliable, but it does not bring about absolute certainty.
The power of deduction lies in its capacity to deliver safe logical conclusions that's rooted from indisputable premises.
So the first objection offered by other thinkers comes from David Hume himself, who says that though deduction is reliable in mathematics, it offers us no real knowledge about the real world, and it is only as reliable as the premises that it uses. An illustration of this objection by Hume would be through this proposition that all unicorns are blue. And this is a unicorn, therefore it must also be blue. Now, this is under the assumption that the premises are true. However, it doesn't actually tell us anything about the real world because we haven't actually seen a unicorn.
For a second objection, Kant said it can't help us understand how the world works or why things happen. Now, imagine you see a ball rolling and thinking, why did it roll? Deductive reasoning alone can't tell you the cause, such as someone kicking it or rolling it downhill.
The next objection comes from scientist Karl Popper. He argued that science can achieve absolute certainty through deduction because scientific knowledge is based on hypotheses and experiments. Suppose a scientist says, if my theory is correct, we should have observed a certain result in the experiment. If the result happens, it supports the theory, but it doesn't prove it with certainty as there could be other explanation.
Our thesis is already on the assumption that deduction will be used properly. Proper in a sense that it uses valid and reliable conclusions. We're talking about its ideal use.
For a second answer, though it does not offer an understanding of why things happen, it can offer us an indication of where to look for an explanation. And for a third answer, yes, we concede its limitations when it comes to science, but science is not the sole focus of inquiry in this world. And in the fields that science cannot explore, deduction can compensate through metaphysics.
So my insight on this discussion is that usefulness in one field of inquiry does not automatically entail being limitless in all other fields.
For my insights regarding induction is that induction is essential in the scientific process, enabling the formulation of general principles from specific observation despite not providing absolute certainty.
For the next insight, while deduction can bring about absolute certainty in ideal circumstances, it has limitations in explaining real-world causation and scientific inquiry, though it remains valuable in metaphysics and non-empirical domains.
Deduction provides a high level of certainty through preciseness of conclusions driven by clear premises.
To conclude this presentation, deduction certainly has some limitations in the field of science and in answering why and how questions, but this does not negate the fact that it still brings about absolute certainty in relevant fields of knowledge.